North Carolina Democrats will be voting on who should lead their party heading into the 2024 elections. One of the candidates says the party needs to win back rural voters who currently vote overwhelmingly Republican. Bill O'Neill joins us with the story.
The idea of turning red rural North Carolina blue sounds like a tough challenge. But keep in mind, 10 years ago, Medicaid expansion had no chance, and 20 years ago, medical marijuana had no chance. Yet today, both Medicaid expansion and medical marijuana have a very real chance of happening in North Carolina.
Anderson Clayton hopes to convince several hundred Democrats, members of her party's executive committee, that it's time for a youth movement.
I think that we have to be giving we've got to be passing the baton, giving the reins over to young people that want to take on this work.
One look at the sea of red in last year's election shows that Clayton faces an uphill fight.
So I don't know how you're expecting to sell this message that you seem to want to convince rural North Carolina that they need to switch from red to blue.
I mean, what have Republicans been doing for rural North Carolina, in my opinion? And that is my fight. That is my message right now, is that Democrats are actually trying to get things done in this state on behalf of rural North Carolina.
Clayton points to President Biden's infrastructure bill and the American Rescue Plan as two examples of how Democrats are investing in rural America.
That's not Republicans. Republicans have not voted for any of this money. They've not voted for any of this infrastructure, none of this investment. They're not voting for health care. They're not voting for the things that we need them to do right now for people to sustain themselves. Rural North Carolina is not living. They are surviving.
North Carolina Democrats coming off a tough year, losing the U.S. Senate race to Republican Ted Budd and losing seats in the legislature.
We've had a lack of energy. We've had a lack of people really feeling that the Democratic Party has a presence in their communities and actually wants to fight on behalf of them. And that's what I want to bring back to this party.
Clayton, who heads the Democratic Party in Person County, shares one example of Democrats' success in rural North Carolina.
Well, in Person County, we flipped the Roxborough City Council in 2021 from a red to blue flip. And that was done from the fact of not we came there and we said we're going to win voters, but we came here and we said we're going to win over people. And that's what I really think politics needs to get back to at the end of the day. We got to start caring about people and letting them know that.
For Anderson Clayton, the youth movement begins with her.
A lot of people looked at me and they said, what makes, you're 25. What makes you think that you can do this? And I said, I think I can do this because I'm 25. That's what makes me believe I can do this, right?
Clayton is one of 4 candidates running for the party chair. The incumbent is Bobby Richardson, the first African-American to hold that position. The vote is Saturday. In Greensboro, Bill O'Neill, WXII 12 News.